Good afternoon, this is Jeff at Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 16165 Southeast Harold Avenue here in Milwaukee. Located at the back of the house, right next to the crawl space hatch. That's as you, and I describe everything as if you are facing the front of the home from the street. Waters are running. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We're going to zero out here at the base of the clean out. Now, just dropping into this thing and looking at the clean out, the cast iron here is looking, at least right now, it's feeling deteriorated. It almost looks like the flow line there is channeling. We'll get a better view of that on the way out. A lot of gunk here at the start of the line. Alright, hitting a Y connection here. This would appear to be the city main. That would be my assumption anyway. Possible. It's always worth checking records to make sure you don't have something like a party line. I don't see those very often in Milwaukee. I've cambered many homes over the 15 years in here. It's pretty uncommon. Gladstone, you will see them, but I don't see them as often over here, but they do exist. So that's worth pulling some records just to verify you're getting record from the city. There's a main lateral, and I'll go locate right now to find out where we're currently sitting. Alright, so the line here does just about a dead straight shot from the clean out access to the rear fence line. It veers off course from dead straight, but pretty straight running line overall. And where my locate's coming in right now, I can't get directly over top the camera because we have gone through the fence line. Probably by, 3 feet maybe, something like that. I can still pick up a pretty strong signal, so I know it's not too far off. Anyway, everything's cast iron right up to the main lateral connection. Again, my assumption is it's a main lateral. This is what I would expect to see on one of these kind of slope downward, at least on this side of the road anyway. This is a pretty common scenario in this part of town to have a line go out the back. So what I will tell you about this era of cast iron, this is not the greatest era for cast iron pipe. Stuff that was done in the late 50s all the way through the 70s does not hold up super great. The start of the line is probably, we'll see how that looks, but I can see that you're just showing some deterioration, some pitting, scale buildup. This kind of stuff you rarely will see, for instance, in like 1910 cast iron. 1910 cast will outlive 1970s cast iron by a country mile. It's amazing. But you're getting a trough forming there in the flow line, so that's this. The signs channeling has begun. I feel like where my camera's moving to the line, that's not just where my camera's carved a path. That is a normal thing to see in this era of cast. That flow line just wears out slowly but surely. So right now, a lot of it isn't super advanced, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on, if nothing else. I'm going to push back out here really quick and just do a couple reference markings. Pull back until I clean the camera lens off here. Put some reference markings down just so you guys know where this thing is at.
And they said that they would take 500 up front and the rest would come out of
So I put another marking down there. That marking, the arrow that's probably 4 feet from the fence line, is going to be more accurate than my very first locate I did. That one was kind of guesstimation because I couldn't get on the camera. And my depths back there are coming in really weird. I don't know what the deal is. By and large, near the fence line there, I was around the 5 foot deep mark. But I am getting for some reason, the depths are jumping to like 7-8 feet sometimes. I'm not sure if I'm getting interference with utilities. I don't have any power lines overhead, but anyway, just be aware of that. Generally speaking, the locate was sitting around the 5 foot mark. Once we got within about 4 or 5 feet of the fence there. Try and clean this camera lens off here really quick. Oh, this is nice though. It looks like the interior pipe here has been updated to plastic, so you might have a little bit of cast iron from the point that dives into the dirt to right here. But it looks like most of your crawl space stuff has been dealt with, which is really nice. See how deep that channel is right there? That is concerning. And this is where we had a bunch of gunk hanging up right when we dropped into the line. This is a part of the line I would absolutely update. That right there is going to rot out on you. It's already very, very close to that point right now. And this water right now, the reason it's holding here is because of the channel it's formed. My camera right now is upside down. But anyway, that first 5 feet there is quite channeled, especially at the base of the cleanout. My camera there at one point flipped backwards. It's not a cleanout that lets you go backwards. My camera was able to kind of flip and look that way. And the worst spot there is spanning about 6 to 8 inches on either side of the cleanout, but that's a pretty deep trough. And this cast iron from this era is very thin walled. It's not like the old stuff that's super thick. So if there's any metal left there at the bottom of that pipe, it's very, very minuscule. We're talking like millimeters. I pushed out while the camera was paused there. So anyway, I would certainly recommend an update. It's hard to get a good gander back, but I mean, what I would definitely recommend repairing is all the cast iron from wherever. My guess is that you may have cast going back under the foundation wall for a few feet till it hits that newer plastic pipe. I would be ditching all that stuff. That all the way out to about 6 feet away from the cleanout here. That's where the channeling's at its worst. All right, we're gonna go ahead and reel the camera out of the line. You know, being that this line is all under just grass and dirt, other than the fence line area, obviously a little bit to deal with there, a little bit more anyway. Realistically, if you're going to start going to the effort of digging up the line, my 2 cents on it, with the ease of access a line like this has to it, if you're going to start digging it up, you might as well take it to the main lateral. That's my 2 cents when it comes to old lines like this. If it were a newer line that had one little issue in it, spot repairing makes sense. But at the very least, the stuff you'd want to get rid of, I put it, you can see a green marking on the house side of the cleanout. I would take that repair all the way back in to where it meets the plastic pipe. That's where the line is the most beat up, is that very first part of the cast iron leading out to just past the decking here. That's where the line is at its worst point. At the very least, I would recommend the spot repair there. Once you're past that point, the line is much more intact. It is certainly showing its age, but it has good slope and grade. And if that doesn't get updated now, again, definitely get the first 6 feet on the backyard side of the cleanout updated and going back into the home. But if that's all you do, I would re-scope the line periodically to keep an eye on it and monitor it, just so you don't catch, so you can catch something before it gets too worn out, too far gone, and starts causing problems. But when we first dropped in here, we had a bunch of stuff hanging up right at the base of the cleanout. It's because of that channeled spot. It creates a very rough, jagged flow line where debris gets stuck down to that trough that forms and settles into that spot. The water also settles into that location where the larger debris won't. It'll sit on top of it. You have less contact or less water in contact with the debris to carry it. So you get kind of a combination of things there that will often cause debris to start piling up. So Make sure you rescope the line after you do any repairs, whether it's a spot repair or a full update. I've marked the entire line out up to the fence line, but if you were to spot repair this thing, I put an X marking just after the line comes out from underneath the decking back here. That's the worst part of the line if you were to do a spot repair.